All right, let's look at one more of these, and we're going to look at number 7. So for this one we want, it's already in descending order, 12, so I'm just going to rewrite it here. And I'm going to look for a greatest common factor. Not all the terms have an x, and there's no common factor between 12, 7, and 10 that all three have in common. So there isn't any greatest common factor this time. So we'll go ahead and go straight to the AC rule. So we're going to multiply 12 times negative 10, which equals negative 120. And now we're going to try to find a product that equals negative 120 and where the factors add up to be positive 7. Positive 7 is our target. So let's see, this is going to be a little more challenging, but we could try, well, let's see, 12 and negative 10. That would give me positive 2. So that's not quite right, but it does. That is the product I want, and I want one of them to be positive and one of them to be negative. And I want the bigger one to be positive so that my sum ends up being positive. So let's try, I know 15 goes into 120, and it goes in 8 times. So let's try 15 and negative 8. And lo and behold, that does equal positive 7. So I found the combination that works. So now I'm going to rewrite 7x as 15x minus 8x. Now I'm going to split it and factor by grouping. There's an x in common here. There's also 12 and 15 have 3 as a common factor. So 3x is my common factor for the first two terms, and that leaves 4x plus 5. And then for the second two terms, I have a leading negative, so I'm going to start with a negative. And let's see, 8 and 10 have 2 in common, so negative 2. When I factor out negative 2, I get 4x plus 5. And like I mentioned in my previous video, I can double check these by distributing. Negative 2 distributed, that equals negative 8x. And here, negative 2 times 5 is negative 10. So that works out. Just as kind of a side note, technically what I really have is plus a negative, but it's easier just to think of it as subtraction. So that's what I'm doing. And now that I've got the two halves of this factored, I notice that they have this in common now. So I'm going to write that as a common factor for the whole thing. And that leaves me with 3x, either plus negative 2, or we usually just write that as minus 2. And that's it. One last note about these, and this is good advice on the test. If you're stuck and you can't figure out how to factor one of these for some reason, you can always go through the answer choices and use the distributive property to check each of the choices. It takes longer, but eventually you should be able to find either that one of them works or that none of them work, and not factorable or prime is the answer choice that you want. So hopefully that helps, and if you haven't already taken the test, good luck.